This mech strategy game is truly one of a kind. Phantom Brigade uses a unique timeline system that blends turn-based tactics with real-time predictions, letting you plan and strategize with a glimpse of the near future. And now, with the massive free 2.0 update from the developers at Brace Yourself Games, who sponsored this video, that innovative formula is more flexible, customizable, and engaging than ever. Phantom Brigade 2.0 adds deep pilot and mech customization, a reworked campaign, overworld, and systems, on top of a ton of small fixes and quality of life improvements across the board. In this video, I'll break down the game's mechanics and 2.0 update to show you why there's never been a better time to jump in. At its core, Phantom Brigade is a hybrid tactics game where every battle revolves around the signature timeline system. Instead of the traditional turn-based tactics back and forth, you predict the next 5 seconds of combat, enemy movement, incoming attacks, positioning, and then plan your actions around that future. This may make it sound easy or simple, like playing with a cheat code, but it really just evens the odds. Generally, you're outnumbered or in a pinch, and longer, drawn-out engagements won't favor your squad. The prediction system creates this incredibly dynamic flow where you can do more than just react to the superior force. Instead, you're preempting threats, dodging missiles, and pulling off maneuvers you just simply can't do in most other tactics games. Outside of battle, you'll command the resistance force from a mobile base, moving across a war-torn world map, strategically striking targets while attempting to stay one step ahead of enemy patrols and reinforcements. For some reason, this setup sounds just a little bit familiar.
Avenger plotting new course.
But here's where things get really exciting. The 2.0 update polishes that solid foundation and runs with it. Everything that Phantom Brigade already did well is expanded on with a ton of new depth and variety. First up, the reworked pilot system. Not only do you have full visual, naming, and biography customization, but there's also over 100 unique traits and combat abilities, which can be huge difference makers in battle. This is in addition to new recruitment and class specialization mechanics, allowing players to build their pilots out for specific roles and synergies with their mechs, which we'll get to next. Pilots can even prestige when they hit max level, letting you pick a trait to keep and re-rolling the others while giving stat upgrades and room for the pilot to continue leveling up. It's not all sunshine and rainbows though. You'll also have to manage each pilot's health and fatigue, as pushing them too hard can lead to permanent trauma or perma-death. The second part of squad building is, of course, the mechs. Customization is again a huge feature here, with interchangeable body parts, weapons, and subsystems that can be switched out pretty much any time. Things like total mass and heat dissipation matter as well, determining how far a mech can move in battle or how often they can attack without overheating and taking damage. Add in that pilots can be mixed and matched between any mech, with their traits often complementing certain weapons, playstyles, or loadouts, and it's almost impossible not to get sucked into experimenting with new builds and equipment. The 2.0 update streamlines the UI and menus, including the after-battle salvage system, to make build crafting very easy and accessible. I love the flexibility and customization here. It makes planning a squad feel way more tactical and personal. Melee weapons aren't a huge focus in the game, but I regularly build light, fast mechs with swords just because I love using them. However, your squads aren't the only thing that got a major upgrade in 2.0. The campaign and overworld were reworked as well. Exploring the world map will unlock new provinces with special modifiers and landscapes, plus new random points of interest and events that you can interact with. Liberating each region does require completing a certain number of missions, but it's completely up to you which ones you choose. Things like supplies, enemy reinforcement timers, and roaming patrols that can trigger a very cool but very dangerous base defense mission all have to be taken into account. And for those that do want more lore, the codex entries have been updated to give more backstory and world building. When you combine this all with the other revamped systems, smoother UI, and community-driven quality of life improvements, this 2.0 update doesn't just polish the game, it genuinely transforms the entire experience, which makes the next part even better. As of this recording, Phantom Brigade is 50% off on Steam to celebrate this landmark update, so if you've been on the fence or you bounced off the game game before, this is absolutely the best moment to give it another shot. I do have a link in the description and pinned comment that you can follow to the Steam page to check it out. Now that's all the big picture stuff, but I know what really matters is how the game feels to play. So I'm going to take a second and talk about my experience actually diving in with this update. I'll be honest, the timeline system took me a second to get completely comfortable with. It was an adjustment shifting my brain from traditional turn-based tactics to something almost cinematic. But once it clicked, it felt incredibly fun, almost like directing an action movie or designing your own plays and routes if you're an American football fan. Watching your squad weave through incoming fire and land those slow motion knockouts never really stops being satisfying, with great camera controls that allow you to replay and position at almost any angle that you want. As an XCOM player, the pilot depth and customization really resonated with me. Traits, classes, and specializations give each pilot an identity in combat, and naturally, I ended up favoring a couple of them. Because of this, they leveled up fast, maybe too fast, but the prestige system fixes that ceiling with your units that a lot of games run into. Instead of hitting a hard cap and having to pull back on my favorites, there's a sense of ongoing progression that actually rewards you for continuing to use them. Although you should still definitely spread the XP around and level up your rookies too. But this is a great system that I would love to see implemented into more games in the genre. What really tied everything together though was the weapon and class variety. Everything has pros and cons. Everything has a use. There's even a class that straight up bullies enemies by intentionally colliding with them, and pairing them with a shield just makes them into an enforcer out there on the battlefield. Very fun. It all reinforces how many different approaches the game actually supports, especially with all of these changes and 2.0 updates. One tip I have if you do pick up the game is that you can change the difficulty settings at any time, even customize them completely if you want. I found the normal difficulty to be great for learning the ropes, but overall a little on the easier side once I knew what I was doing. I would suggest starting low to learn and raising the bar as needed. The campaign is 30 plus hours long, so there is more than enough time to learn the basics and really find that sweet spot before taking on tougher challenges. Which makes me curious, how would you build your squad? I have an affinity for melee myself, but heavy artillery, explosive environmental damage, or good old assault rifles do the job too. Drop your favorite playstyle or weapons in the comments below. And if you're still wondering whether Phantom Brigade is your kind of tactics game, here's the rundown. If you like strategy games that reward planning and precision, give you plenty of room to get creative, or you just want something that offers a completely fresh angle on turn-based tactics, this is an easy recommendation. Streamlined tutorials and onboarding make it approachable for newcomers, but there's more than enough depth here for veterans as well. The 2.0 update doesn't just expand the game, it really carves out its own clear identity. So if any of this sounds up your alley, remember to definitely check it out while the 50% discount is still active. You can follow the link in the description or the pinned comment below. As always, if you want more videos covering strategy and tactics games like this one, feel free to subscribe and check out the channel. See you on the battlefield.